Hey y'all. Okay, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diamond Alexis. I make nursing, lifestyle, and makeup content, well, beauty content on YouTube. I have been gone for 3 weeks, so y'all please forgive me, but it's a good reason, and this video is a reason. I already know that you could tell by the title what we're gonna be talking about. Anyway, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please follow me on Instagram, y'all, so I can reach more people and inspire more people. This is just a little bit of insight on what I'm trying to bring to my channel. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I just want to really give my experiences and my tips that happened and worked for me, but not to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? So if you choose to do it, I'm not reliable. I'm just laying away. If you choose to do it and you have a good outcome, of course that's what I want, but I never want to tell someone what to do. Okay, so that's pretty much what my channel is about. So if you're interested in that, please, you know, join the dimes, join us, okay baby? But yeah, so let's get into the video. So remember earlier I said I have been missing for 3 weeks. Good reason, good excuse. Your girl graduated, that's number one, but I did, you know, finalize my last vlog. After the vlog, I had to study for NCLEX, and guess what? I passed it. I passed my NCLEX. I'm so happy, y'all. I literally passed it on the first try, the very first try. So let me tell y'all my experience. The next video, which is gonna be like kind of like the same setting, I'm gonna be telling y'all what I did, and then someone asked me to do a study vlog, so I will be coming with that too. I'm gonna tell y'all what I did, you know, what I studied, but I cannot regurgitate the content or the questions or the things that were on the actual NCLEX, but which is kind of like tricky because the things that I studied and the stuff that I knew actually helped, like, I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but helped, read between the lines, helped real bad. Like, it helped me pass. Okay, so we're gonna get into detail. Let's go. So my experience. So first of all, y'all, after I graduated December 9th, y'all, I was so happy. I was so relieved. Like, could you imagine being a nursing student and every day you have to wake up and go to class or go to clinicals or have assignments to do? You have that constant pressure of, I have something to do, I have something to do, I have something to do. Could you imagine not having nothing to do? Like it's not even like a gradual letdown. It's just like nothing to do, no stress, no nothing. That was devastating to me because I felt like I was functioning through a highly stressful environment, and going to, you have no responsibilities, like you don't have to do nothing, was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I did suffer from post-graduation depression because I felt lost. I was oversleeping. I didn't have any routine. I was slacking on my YouTube channel, as y'all can see. I was just kind of just like at a standstill. So I did do things to help me get back in the groove, and if you want a video about that, I can definitely give that to you. One of the strongest things were faith, right? So after that, it was time for me to get back into the groove of studying, which was doing my NCLEX, studying for my NCLEX. So one thing I will say, and I will give tips about this as well, I had so many resources and so many things to look at that I didn't know what to do. Like, I would just, every day I was doing something different. Imagine every day for like two to 3 weeks you're doing something different. It's no consistency. It's like one day I'm watching a bunch of YouTube videos that people say it worked. The next I'm watching, you know, TikToks on tips on how to study. Then the next day I'm looking at Simple Nursing the whole time, or watching Nexus Nursing, or using the Saunders app, or using Quizlets. Like, I never had a actual study, or Mark Cave lectures. I never had like an actual like routine until after that 2 weeks. So we're still in December right now, right? So we're still in December, you know, the little 2 weeks. I took me a whole week break. So let's just say we're in mid December, like coming across the holidays and New Year's. So imagine doing that for those 2 weeks. So finally I had chose my NCLEX date, and I might put in the screenshots Yeah, I think that that'll be safe. I'll just cross out the things. I'll put in a screenshot so you can know I'm not lying. I really did change my date 3 times. So my first NCLEX date was, I'm trying to pull up the pictures. It was January 5th. So mind y'all, I told y'all that first, okay, so I graduated. After that, the first 2 weeks, kind of just studying, you know, I mean, not doing nothing, but in the middle of the December and the holidays, now I'm like, okay, time to get serious, time to get serious. So I got my ATT, I think December 14th. I can look for that too, show you the screenshot, so you can kind of get a setup of what to expect once you graduate nursing school. So I got the ATT, that's when everything clicked in my mind. You gotta establish a routine, Bookie Butt. You can't keep looking at different stuff every day, reading stuff one day, watching videos the next day, and not practicing. Well, I was practicing questions. Let me not lie about that. Practicing questions, but not, what's the word? Reviewing? Practicing the questions and not, reading the rationales. There we go. Not reading the rationale. So just practicing questions blindly, but not knowing why you got it wrong or right. So there was that. So once I got the ATT December 14th, okay, I took a couple days and then I scheduled it for January 5th. My first NCLEX date was Friday, January 5th at 8 a.m. Y'all, after the New Year's, like January 2nd, I was like, I don't think I know nothing. I was like, I don't know what to do. My routine was crappy, I told y'all. So you know what I did, you know, and which I'm gonna put this in right now. This is another tip. Once you get a date, the worst thing you could do is continuously change it, because you're letting anxiety get to you, right? But I had a reliable reason, because of the simple fact that, girl, my study was everywhere. It was just everywhere. So my second date was Saturday, January 27th, 2024 at 8 a.m. Okay, so that was the second date. So now I actually got into a routine, and that routine, I don't know if I want to include it in this video or do a separate video. I think I'm gonna do a separate video, because I do want to go into detail on how exactly I did it. But just know, trust me, I have it all written down, baby. Even though I was taking these huge breaks, your girl was still planning. Your girl, I was still planning, okay? So yeah, so I'm gonna do that in detail, but just know for this video I did establish a routine, and I will say that that really does help. Oh my gosh, a routine, it helps, and it's in great detail. It has the dates and everything. Y'all, let's keep going, let's keep going. So mind you, I told you my my schedule was everywhere. So after that, I received like, so I had 2 hospital jobs. One of the hospital jobs always told me, girl, once you graduate, you cannot work here no more. So that was in the back of my head for one of my jobs. But my second job, they never told me. So I was like, okay, I did so good in my planning. I get to still keep a job like after I graduate. But the kicker with that job was that once you pass the NCLEX, you can't work anymore. But I didn't find out until a little bit later on. Like, I want to say like maybe like early January or like mid-January. Maybe even like heard rumors from people. But I never had a sure confirmation. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I did not want that for sure confirmation, because I want to still be able to work after I graduate. Because great, bills. But so after that, I came across the January 27th date. And y'all, I still felt nervous because my job, I was using Marquet lectures. I was doing, I'm looking at the thing to kind of give y'all some dates. I had me a set schedule. I was using Marquet lectures, and I was using the Saunders app for practice questions. Girl, when I tell you, so many people in my class graduated, and the same thing they kept saying, something that I did not have, and it was Archer. And I was like, I'm gonna have to push this day back because I don't even have Archer. Like, it's like, if there was a reason for me to push that day back, baby, I was gonna take it. I was gonna take it. It wasn't that I didn't want to take it. I wanted to be so well prepared that when I take it, I'm passing it the first time. For me, yes, I would love my school to have a 100% pass rate. I do, but I want it for me as well, because if I don't want it for me, how I'm gonna want it for somebody else? And that's the problem. People think, oh, I just want to pass, I want to pass, I want to pass for the school. What do you want to do? Because if you don't want it, you're not going to work hard enough to even get it for the school. So I said, if I want it for myself, it's going to happen. It's going to all align. So I was like, you know what? I want to say maybe like January, that week of January 14th to January 20th. Yes, that was when I said, okay, everybody, every time I seen somebody posted pass and they had their cute pictures, I was like, what you do? Archer. What you do? Archer. What did you study? Archer. What did you do? Everybody kept saying the same thing. So I said, you know what? Okay, a week before my second date, I'm just gonna just push it back. Third date. The third date was Friday, February 2nd, 2024, 1 p.m. Okay, once I got this date, I said, I'm not changing it no more. Then I got calls from my nurse recruiter who, because I told her I got the labor delivery job. She gave me a good talk and she was like, when you taking your NCLEX? And I was like, and you know, if y'all don't know something about me, I'm very transparent. I'm gonna tell the truth. I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was supposed to took my NCLEX, but I pushed it back 3 times. She was like, I used to be like, I guess like a study prep or like an NCLEX advisor or whatever. And she was like, I always tell my students the worst thing you could do is push your date back so many times. Like, you cannot keep pushing it back because you're letting anxiety win. Then the longer you go without, you know, you have a fresh brain when you get out of school. So the best time to do it is like not immediately after graduation, but maybe like the first like 1 to 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, but not too far out, you know, not too far out. That's when everything is the freshest, you know, and you don't have to keep letting your anxiety get to you to where you have to keep refreshing stuff you already know, because anxiety will help you forget things too. Let's not forget about that. So when she told me that, I was like, you know what, plus they sent the email that said, which I will show that because it's going to tie into my nurse residency vlogs, but they have a date that they want you to have the NCLEX results in by. So that was another thing that was just like nagging in my head, like I have to have these results in by February 9th. You have a 48-hour block before you can get your results, your unofficial ones that you pay for on Pearson VUE. So I said, okay, by February 2nd I'll be fine because I'll reach that. But I don't like doing last minute stuff. But for me, if I want to pass the first time, and I already waited this long to take it, this is the last time to me in my head that I can push it back to where I can have a successful, you know, date, because it was my first. It wasn't the second time. This was my very first time. They had another like, which I'll show the email it had if you want to take your second attempt, but this is my first attempt. So I was like, girl, if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna wait to the very last minute. So okay, so that was February 2nd. So now y'all know the whole backstory. So let's get into the actual day of taking NCLEX. Yes, let me tell y'all this. I used Marquette lectures and Archer, the Archer questions religiously every day once I changed that date. Every single day. Read the rationales, wrote them down. And I'll give tips on that. I'm not going to go into much detail because this is supposed to be my experience. So you can get like a crash course of how it's going to be. So religiously, okay? Just remember that. So now we're on the actual day. So the actual day, you know, I didn't study or cover anything. I watched sermons. I listened to soothing music. I maybe even cleaned up a little bit. I laid down. I didn't do much of anything. I didn't, because I wanted to be, you know, fully focused. I did fast a little bit, maybe like until 11, because the time was 1 p.m. On my way there, I was eating. So I heated up like a quinoa bowl. I'll probably insert a picture. I ate that. So basically some brain food, some like natural food. I did have I think I had a shake that morning. I don't think. It was either I had a shake or I drank a bunch of water, but it was kind of like fasting. So after that, I had anxiety. So let me tell you why. How do you leave 45 minutes, almost an hour early, and still make it there 1 p.m. by 12:50? I think I made it there 12:40, 12:50, and I left super early. The traffic in Houston, I knew there was 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock traffic. I didn't know nothing about no 12 o'clock traffic. Why do y'all go and have lunch at the same time? But anyway, so I I had anxiety on that because I'm like, I literally planned everything, literally oh my gosh, planned everything to where I would be on time and very, very early, just for me to still be having to jog my way into this building. So, and that's another thing, plan ahead. I knew how far it was. I had like just about maybe like a time frame of how much time it would take me to get there, but I did not factor in traffic. Luckily, I still left pretty early to still make it like kind of on time, because to me on time is 20 to 30 minutes before, not 10. So that's why I was like, and I want to be able to breathe. Like, I want to be able to go in there easily, not like, oh, okay, I just got here. No, I want to be able to look around, see what's around me, you know, kind of like take in the environment. Like, that's me. Like, I want to be able to, if there's something I'm not like familiar with, if it's hard to find a place, I want to be able to have to find it easily without feeling like a rush in the back of my head. So I get to the building, I take me a couple more bites, drink me some water. I go in there, I have my rings on, I have my bracelet on with my watch and my phone, no purse, no bag, no nothing. So I go in there, it's like one of those, like, if you've ever gotten your lashes done at a suite, like a building, but it's a suite, but it's like a building, it's not like a shop, like a shop that's just like that one building. It's like almost like a skyscraper building with a suite. That's what mine was. And you literally just read the signs, you go into your place. Of course, I think everybody has to go through piercing. If I'm wrong, correct me, but mine was piercing. Pretty sure everybody's piercing view. So I go in there and it's a couple other people there taking their NCLEX. But what made me the happiest, and when I left, I told everybody this, the lady there was so sweet. I wonder if I could put the address, I don't know, but the lady there was so sweet because she, I don't want to say manifested, but she kind of like put on us, like, life and death is in the power of the tongue. She spoke life into every single one of us. When we come in, or she'll be like, okay, so this is me, I'm gonna give you an example. I walk in, she's like, what's your name, sweetheart? My name is Diamond. Okay, Nurse Diamond. Like, she will literally say nurse, she would address everybody as nurse, even though we're just grad students about to take the exam. She spoke life into everybody. That was the first thing that I found so positive about my experience, because it's like, I wasn't that anxious, but it was like, if I was given a reason to be anxious, I would probably easily take it, because it's something that is like, everything is riding on me passing this first time. So when she spoke life, it was like, she called me Nurse Diamond, the very first person, well, my best friend, my boyfriend, my mom, whatever, but outside of family, the first person that I like ever had call me a nurse was a testing administrator. How cool is that? How positive is that? So I love that. That was very beautiful to me. That was very, like, I know she's probably not gonna see this video, but I just want y'all to know, like, if any testing advisors watching this, please do that, because it changes so much about the setting and the environment. So it was clean, it was very professional. You cannot have too much on. Please expect to take off all bracelets, watches, anything electronic. Turn your phone off. You'll get a locker and a little baggie to put your stuff in with a key. You'll scan. They tell you this before you even take the exam, so I feel like I can talk about this. It's like a palm reading. When you sign up for the NCLEX, it's gonna ask if you accept the fact that you have to do the palm reading. This is just to, I guess, safety wise, identity wise, stuff like that. They want to keep everything very what's the word, structured. So you have to do that on both sides. That was interesting to me. It made me feel like we was in the future. It made me feel like we was in the future. After that, you just go through identity. You give your ID, your identification. Then you sit, you wait, you read all the rules. And I literally sat there and read them. Even if you scan them, just be mindful and be familiar with it, because you don't want to accidentally do something that they already covered in the thing, because you will be accountable for it. Okay. My camera is overheating, so I'm gonna switch the battery, cool it down, and I'll finish the last part of my experience. Okay, I'll be right back. It's gonna be a click for y'all, so just wait. Where we left off at was me about to basically walk into the room to study. I mean, girl, me about to walk into the room to take the actual exam. So there was like, okay, so imagine a desk, and then behind that wall is like another area for the proctor, and then behind that door is a room of testers with a window that you could see everybody, right? I thought that was pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I thought that was cool. But nursing school will prepare you for that, because we all know eyes and ears are everywhere. So when I go in, they do the little airport pat down. They make sure you don't have nothing. They double check everything. So double check the palms, double check that you don't have anything on you, double check you don't have no watch or bracelets on. I don't know why. Maybe people be writing stuff on it. I don't know. I'm not messing up my charm bracelets to cheat. No. But anyway, take everything off. I was able to keep my rings on, which I love, because my rings are very faith-based. Pray, heart, love, faith, the cross, more hearts, so blessed. So I like love and faith around me. So the fact that I was able to keep my rings on, it made me so happy, because if I get nervous, I can just look down at my ring, or I could just, fiddle with it and feel like I'm centered and that God is with me, because he's with me all the time. Amen. So yeah. So I was able to keep my rings on. I love that. They did the pat down, and they gave me a paper, not a literal dry erase board, but like a paper. So the front part of a dry erase board, just imagine that on like a ceramic, what's that word? Oh my gosh. Laminated. Okay, imagine that on a laminated piece of paper, and you can erase with it. So y'all, okay, so they gave me that with a dry erase marker. They took me to my seat, told me all the things, which I'm not gonna give you the full experience, because some things I want you to experience on your own. So basically telling you what you need to do, what you need to expect, timing, all of that stuff. So everything that I could say right now, you're gonna read it anyway. So I would like you to just get that on your own. So you read the stuff that they tell you to read on the computer. And so this is me. Now we're entering the exam. So I read everything I needed to read. I understood everything that needed to be understood. I understood the breaks, how that goes, the eating, how that goes, all of that. So now we're finishing off this video right now. I'm telling y'all this because I cannot talk about the exact things that I had on the exam, but I could tell y'all my processing while taking the exam. So this is what I'm going to go into. So when taking the exam, I didn't pay attention so much to the questions until after 85. I did not too much pay attention to the time, because the amount of time that they give us for the exam for me was ridiculously so much time. It was like, why am I paying attention to the time? Because I had studied so good to where I knew if I was taking longer than a minute. You know that too. Even if you don't time yourself in every question, which was things that I would do, I would time myself a minute per question. I felt when, okay, it's been over a minute, so I don't have to look at the timer. But if you just have to look at the timer because you're not so much as good at, okay, it's been over 60 seconds, then do that. But the reason why I don't think that you should is because it'll give you anxiety and make you feel like you have to hurry up. You get what I'm saying? But when you get there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, it's so much time where it's like, why would I focus on the time? You get what I'm saying? Unless you just taking so much time, then cool. But so I did not pay attention to the time that much. I paid attention to them questions. Now this is something that I would suggest you do if you're a second guesser. I am a second guesser, so to prevent me from second guessing would be, Diamond, once you cross out an answer choice, you cannot go back to that answer choice. But I knew that I couldn't do, because Archer gives you a way to do it. You click the actual sentence and it will do this like zigzag. When y'all watch my study vlog, you will see what I'm talking about. You can click the actual question and it'll like zigzag it out. I don't know if it was for the assessment. I think it's for the practice questions though. I think it's for like a practice session, not an assessment. The assessment is supposed to mimic the NCLEX. So if the NCLEX is not gonna let you have a thing where you can do the process of elimination or cross it out, the Archer assessment is not going to have that either. But the practice mode, which is what I was telling y'all when I was timing myself for 60 seconds, that's how I was able to know, okay, 60 seconds, do my process of elimination. So I just applied a modified version of that because I didn't have the materials to do that on the actual NCLEX. So what I did was so imagine So this is my iPad, but this iPad for y'all is gonna symbolize or represent the dry erase paper thing that they gave me, right? The laminated thing. So okay, so and I'm gonna turn this to black. Okay, so say you see this. So say this is the paper, right? And I'm on question 5. Well, 1. Let's just say 1. I'm on question number 1. This is what I would do. I'll write down A, B, C, D. Or if it's not in alphabetical, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So say the question asks me just anything. You think of a question. Think of a question in your head right now. Think of the answer choices to it. What did your first mind say was wrong? Okay, cool. Cross that out. I cannot go back to that because my first mind said it was wrong. What did my first mind say was right? I just put a dot next to it. Then I go back and look at the other 2 choices and I say, okay, which one of these is close to the one I crossed out? Cross it out. Okay, so my first mind said this. Does this make the first mind answer choice right or wrong? Cross it out. So each time I would do that, I would just tell myself, you know, do the process of elimination. Sometimes I'll come across some and I'll be like, okay, this is the answer. But I'll still go back and look at 1, 3, and 4. I'll go back and still look at 1, 3, 4. Okay, but if my first mind said 2, I'm not gonna go against my first mind because, oh my gosh, my light, my first mind is right. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So another thing, so this of course what I'm showing y'all is multiple choice questions, right? Just 4 answer choices. Now imagine, can I say this? Yes. Imagine the select all or apply having 8 choices. That will happen. Read between the lines. That will happen. So I'm not doing A, B, C, D, E. No, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not gonna confuse myself with letters. So I would do this. And what I would do is the trick that I learned from Mark K Lectures and Nexus Nursing. True or false. So pertaining to the question, because I can't tell you. Okay, so say you get a case study and it has these, right? 1 through 8. What I would do to keep me from, like, say it's asking you about negatives, to keep me from accidentally going to positives. So let's just say, which of the following would not be present in heart failure? To keep me from going to ones that would be present in heart failure. Every time I answered whether this was true or false for the first answer choice, I will go back and read the question to keep me on my P's and Q's, to where I'm sitting here supposed to be looking at the negatives and then I all of a sudden go to the positives. So what I would do is, which one of these would not be present in heart failure? Is this true or false? This is false. I'm not choosing it, cross it out. Which one of these would not? I would emphasize in my head, not, because I don't want to accidentally go to what is. You know what I'm saying? So not, okay? And I know, y'all, I'm a person that really does not like repeating myself, but for this exam, I'm doing everything I don't like doing. I'm gonna repeat myself, I'm gonna reread, I'm gonna go over it again and again and again. That's what I'm gonna do. So I kept doing that process, and mind you, I said I would put dots for the ones I thought were right. Dots, dots, wrong, wrong, dot. And each time, so that means that I was reading the question over 8 to 10 times for this kind of exact scenario, because it's 8 choices. So there was that. Another thing, and I hope that made sense to y'all, because I really do want to be helpful. Another thing that helped me in the process of me taking my exam, like in my experience, was with the case studies. I would try to not exactly find hope, but I would kind of find hope in things like, say a case study was asking about something and then I click my answer choice and the next question basically says that what I chose was right. I'll be like, okay, I'm doing good, you know, I'm doing good. Like, I'll just be my own coach in the background. You never want to be your own negative Nancy while you're taking something as big as your licensure. You want to be your coach. You want to be your motivator. You want to be your positive, like, you want to be positive to yourself during this process, because I'm telling you, there's going to be so many reasons to be negative, because it's so much easier to be negative when you're already anxious. So, okay. So, after that, so like I told y'all, after 85 questions, I stopped paying attention to the answer. The question that I was on. So I will tell y'all, I finished around 93, 95. The computer completely shut off. Like, it did not give you a chance to say, hey, this is the question I stopped. No, baby. Once you click your answer, it was like a blue screen, then it went to black, and then it was like, you're done, take the survey, blah, blah, blah. So, one other thing before I finish off this video is that what I would do if a question reminded me of something that I think I would need later, that I know I would probably get anxiety about and forget, I'll write it down. So say one question was asking about a specific precaution, like airborne precautions, I would start writing down the memory trick for all precautions: universal, standard, droplet, airborne, and contact. I'll just write it down, because when I get to the question, I don't want to have to really like waste too much time or try to think, oh my gosh, and try to compare it to the last question. No, I want to know what I know. I don't want to try to guess what I think I should know or do not know at the moment. You never want to do that. Go with what you know. That's another thing in my head that kept going. Go with what you know. Do not sit here and try to think, maybe it's this or maybe it's that, or I think it should be this. No. What do you know? What does Diamond know? What does insert your name know? Because if you sit in there and you playing a guessing game and trying to think of what you don't know, you're going to fail yourself, because you already know what you know. There's nothing else you can know. You cannot know the whole world. You cannot know the whole nursing or medical field. You cannot know that. And the NCLEX knows that. You just have to be safe. That's another thing. Safety. If all else failed with me, what was safe? And not what was not common sense safe. What was common sense safe, lawfully safe, and literally by board of nursing standards, what was safe. Not what I think is safe. What do I know is safe? If they tell me, are you gonna cut this, are you gonna stick a needle in this patient, or ask them who they are, or identify them, I'm gonna identify them. I'm not gonna go up in our room. Like, some stuff you got to think like realistically. Like, I know that these questions are book based, but sometimes they can pull from common knowledge and common sense and experience. If I walk into a room to somebody I do not know and I go in there and put a needle in them, what do you think is going to happen? Like, being realistic. Because sometimes I get so wrapped up in knowing the book stuff that I'm just like, when I get the question wrong and I go back and read the rationale, and then I think, if I was to walk in that room and do that, that don't make no sense. Why would I choose that? So you gotta think like that. You gotta be like, I'm gonna ask the patient who they are. Even if you cannot even put in your head like, well, if I had a patient, I'm gonna know the patient. No. Everything you do, you have to identify a patient. So that's what I would do. Can you give me your first name and date of birth? First and last name, date of birth. Okay, now I can proceed to insert an IV. You get what I'm saying? So some stuff you gotta think about. If you cannot pull from any book knowledge or any safety, what realistically makes sense? Safety gonna always be the last thing to trump your answer choice, though, just being honest. But if you cannot pull from none of that, think safety in the back of your head and think about you in that scenario. Like, yeah, I'm gonna choose that, because that don't make sense for me to go in there and put a Foley in them and not identify them, or just stuff like that. So I was thinking of it like that, and I really feel like the stuff that I'm giving y'all right now throughout my experience is what helped me. I will go into detail more in the next video, but for right now, those are the things that really helped me. Being positive, having a positive mindset, having a set plan, like going in there, I'm going to use the process of elimination, and if I feel like something reminds me of something, I'm going to write it down. Sometimes the questions would even give me things that I felt like I would need to know in the future, and it helped. So if I was like, oh, I didn't know that, like the question will kind of give you some insights to something. Like, it'll give you symptoms, and then it'll give you the diagnosis, and then be like, okay, so what is your action now? I'll be like, oh, I didn't know those symptoms would be present in that system or that diagnosis. I'm writing it down on this paper that they gave me. I'm writing down symptoms, blah, 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 diagnosis. Now in the back of my head, since I know that, if they ask me another question, which possibly can happen, I'm able to answer it, and it happened. So just go in there with a plan, because that's what I did. I went in there with a plan. So then when I left, when the question shut off, I'm not gonna lie, my heart dropped down to my stomach, because I was like, I'm done. Okay. Last thing, one thing that I did forget to mention was the fact that I did take a break. I took 2 breaks. No, I took 1 break leaving the actual room. I took several breaks throughout the exam. So 1 physical, go to the restroom, drink a little bit of water, break did happen for me. I did not go straight through. I don't believe in going straight through without taking breaks. I personally do not think that is smart. But, and that's one thing I will advise, please don't go straight through. Please. Because if there's a chance you get the full 150 or 180, whatever the max is, you don't want to be exhausted, because that will increase your chances of not being successful, because you're not thinking with a refreshed brain. You're just on go, and I can prove that, because when you take the Archer assessments or like any practice questions, and I had got one assessment where it was a CAT exam, I went straight through and got all 150, and I knew they have like a graph that it'll show, and when I looked at the graph, I said I was tired. I knew I was exhausted, but I just wanted to go straight through, and that's the worst you can do. So what I'm telling you was from experience. I don't advise it. And if you do practice questions and you see and you know that you're tired, you're gonna know that I'm telling the truth. But so yeah, I did take breaks. Let me see if there's any other things that I can cover that might get questioned. Oh, okay. One thing I will say, which is true for me and what I heard from Mark K lectures, don't expect a lot. Don't expect to have a perfect scenario. Don't expect to have a perfect day, because it will not be perfect. He specifically said, don't expect perfect parking. Don't expect 85 questions. Don't expect a perfect, what's it called, test mate. Don't expect any of that. And when I went in there like that, I was like, anything could happen. I'm focused, tunnel vision. Another thing is, if you know that if it gets too cold, you're gonna need a jacket or your nose is gonna start running, please they will have napkins for you. Get those. Have a jacket. I had a jacket. Another thing I would advise, so they have trash cans, but I kind of just bought it up, put in my thing, so when I went on my breaks, I would just empty it out. I didn't have any sanitizer, but I used sanitizer when I was able to get it. One thing I do advise is something I did: dress nice. I know you want to dress comfortable, you can if you want to, but for me, I was like, I'm already Nurse Diamond, so I'm gonna dress like it. I had on a black jumpsuit, cute, very cute, with some what's it called, Tory Burch sandals. Hair was cute, lip gloss on, might have did a little bit of mascara. Hair was slicked back, edges, everything. I did not want to look or exhausted. I wanted to look up, because when you look good, you literally feel good. So I would suggest you get up as if you're going to class. Because me, I was the type of person to get dressed and get ready and put on makeup for class. So get dressed like you're going to go run errands or you're going to do something important, because you are. So dress like it. Try to your best ability to at least like feel good. Even if feeling good to you is not dressing up, you don't have to. Just for you, do something that you feel would make you feel good and feel up. I feel like personally for me, if I was to go in there like underdressed, like for exams, I would go, I don't put on makeup for exams in nursing school. I didn't put on makeup, and I would dress very comfortably, but I would kind of have that really, really chill, feeling. I wanted to feel like I still look cute, but I'm not chilling. I'm just focused. So that was my mindset. So if you can, I would suggest you do something to look and feel good. But if you have any other questions, just comment them down below. I feel like I covered everything in my experience. I had a very great experience. Oh yeah, after taking the exam, I had a little bit of anxiety because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what question I ended on, and it just shut off. It was just so quick. So after that, they collect all your items. You go back out, you do the finger palm thing, you get your things, and you go. So I left, you know, I used the restroom. I was like, oh my gosh, I just finished. I talked to my boyfriend. I talked to my friends. I told them I finished, and then I left. And then after that, that 48 hours after having to wait, oh my gosh, I was searching my name on the board of nursing every day. I was searching looking for the results to upload every day until Sunday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up in the middle of the night. Someone told me, check the board of nursing. I checked the board of nursing. I had 2 licensures. One was the graduation license that was expired on the same day that they posted my results, and the other one was post-grad, and it was my actual nurse license. Then I went to church. I knew that I didn't want to tell nobody, but my best friend had spent the night, so I told her. So the next morning, and I told my mama, what was that? I woke my mom up. I was stupid to tell her that. So I went to church, and then after that, I searched again. After the second service, I searched again to see if on Pearson View if my results were ready, and they were. Paid for my unofficial results right at church. Got the passed notification on the receipts after you pay. It was like $7.48, something like that was the price, and I was good to go. I was happy. I said this was the best. At first, I was mad that I did it on the weekend because I thought it would be faster to do it on a weekday, but when I figured out that even if it's on a weekend or a weekday, it's still a 48-hour wait, I was like, okay, this was the best time to get my results because I was still in the church house, and I was just like, God, please. And even though I saw the results and had been praying the whole time, it was just like something so comforting seeing it in the Lord's house. So there was that. If you believe, I suggest you do it on a Friday so you can get your results on Sunday, just so you can just be around positivity so you can be around positivity on a positive day. But yeah, so that's the end of this video on my Next Generation NCLEX experience. I'm praying for you. I know you will pass. Try to take some of the things and make them your own. Some of the things I talked about in this video, and make them your own, and really just that mindset, mind over matter. Your mind is very powerful and it's very strong, and it is literally your guide. So if you can just be positive, you will be fine. So thank you for tuning in, and I know that you will be insert name BSNRN. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.